Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here, and today is Casing Tuesday. And this will also be my last video before Christmas. And then we're heading up to Canada for a little bit, and then we're coming back down with our son. And so I won't be going live for, I don't know, probably about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit less than that. It just depends exactly when we come back and when I can squeeze my first live back. But you probably won't see me for a week. I definitely won't be going live this Friday, and next Tuesday, that will be the 26th. And then after that, I will probably be back. So I'm so glad that some of you are here joining me this morning. It is Casing Tuesday, as I said before, and that's the day when we take a card out of the catalog and we give it a makeover. So let's take a little look here and see. Good morning, Pat. I'm glad you're here. So let's take a look at today's card that we're doing a makeover on. So this is a very basic card, but I love this layout because basically you just need a greeting for the center, and you can use designer series paper to do the heavy lifting. I would never put ribbon like this on a card naturally, but I did today, so it actually helped expand my horizons. So I'm gonna just pop up the sketch for today's card. And if you're like me, I sometimes don't like to do crooked layers, so I just did my layer straight. So, and if you don't have a fancy shape for the center, just use a rectangle. So there's lots of different options for this card. It should be fairly easy to do, and I hope some of you will join us over on the Facebook group and post your cards. There's a link down below for you to join us, and I hope you will do that. Good morning, Marty and Jackie and Mary. I'm glad to see you today. So let me hold up my card, and then we can kind of do a side-by-side comparison. This is a card. I've turned it into a congratulations card, and that beautiful paper in the background is Winter Meadow, and the stamp set's Phrases for All. And it just really flowed very nicely. I'm actually very proud of this card, even though this is not a natural layout for me. Well, the layout's not bad, but the ribbon, I would never do ribbon like this naturally. And I actually really love the way it turned out. How many times can I say actually today? All right, I'll try not to say that word for the rest of the video. So I like how it turned out. So let's have a look. I want to just hold up to the original card. So there's the original card, and there's my card. So totally different cards, but the essence of it is the same, and so that's what makes it easy to do, and you don't have to spend hours and hours coming up with a layout. Just use a card in the catalog that you like and make it over. And so everyone's going to be casing this card today over on our blog group. If you want to join us over there on the Facebook group, just look down below in the description of the video. I left a link for everyone there. And good morning, Laura, who woke up to 7 inches of snow. Yikes, we had so much rain yesterday, but not 7 inches. It was quite something, and wind and all of that. We were part of those East Coast storms that were moving up. But today's a bright, sunny day. Good morning, Deborah from Virginia Beach, and Ellie from sunny Connecticut. Ellie and I had probably the same weather yesterday, or she probably got it earlier, and then we got it here. Marty says she loves my case. Well, let me show you all how to make it. I'm going to pop over to my other camera. All right, I have a little streak of sunshine. This is from my blinds. I need to maybe tape up a piece of paper there in the future so it doesn't have that horizontal slot. But my blinds are blocking out the beautiful sunshine, but I still have that little line right there. Oh, and I think I put my camera up way, way high the other day for some reason. Let me bring it back down so we can screw. There we go. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I talked about This is the Phrases for All Steps set. It's got big greetings and then smaller companion greetings to go with it. I'm using the Nested Essentials dies that has these great stitched labels that I love. And I'm also using, these are the pastel adhesive back sequins. I'm just using some gold ones on here, just really fun. So this is not a hard card to make, so let's just start. I love easy to make cards that look hard, right? So I have a piece of Pool Party cardstock, and I cut it to 8.5 by 5.5, and then I scored it in half on my trimmer at the 4.25 inch mark, so it just folds along that score line. And I'll take my bone folder and just give it a little press so that it lays flat while I'm creating it. Then I took some Winter Meadow Designer Series paper, and I grabbed 3 patterns from that paper, and this paper is gorgeous. It's got more intricate patterns on the back, and then on the other side it's kind of got a watercolor wash, so you can just choose what patterns you want. I hated to cover up some of the nicer patterns, but I didn't want my design to be too busy. So these pieces of Designer Series paper measure 1.5 by 3.25. So the best way, even though my card's horizontal, the easiest way for me to put this on is to start at the bottom, and I'm just going to take some glue, put it on the back. Notice I don't put a lot of gloppy glue, it's just a little tiny bit. It looks like I'm putting on a lot, but it isn't. So the trick here is to look at the sides here, and you want to be equal distance from the sides, and you want the same distance down here, right here. So look at all of these 3 sides. If you get this one, if you take a moment to make sure this one looks straight and centered on the 3 sides here, then the rest of everything will go very easily for you, because then you'll just take the next piece and you'll just put it right next to here. I don't know what the original measurements for the paper on the card were, because I think I went a little smaller, but I made it such that I cut like 1 inch in on my paper size, so that it should have like a fairly even frame around it once it's done. Put this one this way, and I just make sure to line that up, and then smooth it down. Okay, so I could have probably gone a little bit closer, little up a little bit from the edge, but generally this is the way I wanted it to flow out. It looks pretty good. All right, so let's create this label right here. I'm gonna grab my mini, because mini stamp and cut and emboss machine, because it's a small enough die that it can fit through here. Ooh, it's a bit dusty. Okay, let me open it up, and I've got my cutting plates and my embossing plate, and I just want to point out, if you don't already know this, if you've gotten this machine before, that sometimes the number 1 plate might make it too tight for your dies to go through. The number 3 plate's just a little bit thinner. So if your number 1 plate, you feel like it's just not going through right, or you're having trouble getting it to go through, switch to your number 3 plate. My machine is tight, so I have to use the number 3 plate all the time, but it really doesn't matter, because it comes with the machine and it doesn't change anything about the experience. It's just that I have to use the thinner plate. So I'm going to use the smallest label on Nested Essentials, and I'm going to grab a piece of basic white. We'll plop that down here. Number 3 plate, clear plate, cardstock, die with cutting surface down, and then another clear plate on top. It's far easier to die cut when you're standing up because sitting down it's kind of hard. So I'm just gonna run this through and see how nicely that goes through. It's like really easy. If I had my number 1 plate, I would probably not be very happy. And there is my little die cut. Oh, look at the nice little edge on that die. That's why they call it the Nested Essentials dies, because it's an essential set of fun labels. So we'll just pop these out of the way. Oh, sorry, that was louder than I wanted it to be. Okay, we've got our little label, and I've got my congrats and my companion greeting on blocks. This is an H block and this is a G block. I'm going to grab my Misty Moonlight ink pad and I'm going to ink this up. And I want to put this as close to the top as possible, because I need room for my little companion greeting. So you see how close I'm getting to that stitching there. So I need room for this. Oh, and it's always good to stamp it the right way up. So I'm going to come in and just kind of nest the kinds, the I and D around the G. Like that. So I like how that looks, having that little companion greeting underneath. You might need to practice it a few times. I've been stamping for a while, so it's pretty easy for me to get things on the first try, but sometimes it helps just to cut yourself some practice dies just to get it right. Or if it's easier for you, can stamp first and die cut second, but for this one, to get that spacing really tight like that, it's almost better to have the die shape first. I am going to back up. I cut an extra piece earlier. I'm going to glue these two together just so I have a little bit more depth in this piece. You don't have to do this. This is just a little extra thing. And I ended up doing this yesterday because I first stamped this Congrats in Lost Lagoon, and then I decided I wanted to go a little darker because of the ribbon I was putting behind it. So I ended up putting this piece on top of my Lost Lagoon piece, and then I really liked the way that looked, so that's what I did. So we need to add some ribbon to the back of here, and this is probably the hardest part of the whole thing. So I will take my Terran tape and just run a line right along the back right here. Okay, and then I'm going to grab, this is the navy glittered ribbon. This is carrying over from the holiday catalog. Just peel this piece off. Okay, so yesterday I was experimenting with this. So I kind of want this coming like this. You're going to need about 9 inches of ribbon, but you kind of want it coming like about like here. So stick it in. Then you want it to come quite tight, like about like that. Stick it down again, and then you want to come up like this. Tighten it up just a little bit, and it basically looks like a capital N on a diagonal to me. Maybe because I'm thinking of my son Nicholas, capital N, like that. So then, grab my ribbon scissors. I need to have a better layout for my desk. It's a little bit wonky since I moved here. So let's flip this over. Here we are. So it looks good either way, so you don't really have to worry about whether your see was on which side or the other. So it kind of looks, it has a symmetrical pattern, so it will look good either way. So just turn this back around. If you did not like the layout of your ribbon as it was, you can like hover it over your thing and say, oh, I don't know if I like that. You can always still pull this off. Okay, say I didn't like how much I left down here. I can go like this and do a little less and come over here and just slightly switch up the angles. So you can change it up if you don't like the layout. So just don't stick it all the way down because there is some adhesive exposed. Once you like your layout, then grab your tear and tape again, and I'm going over top of this ribbon. You can see I'm going to add another piece. I love using glue, but for this I feel it's far better to use this double-sided adhesive because it also helps to pin down the ribbon, and the glue doesn't do quite as good a job on ribbon, I feel. So this is the adhesive to go if you're going to go over top of the ribbon. So let's peel this off. And now that ribbon is pinned down by the adhesive strip, plus it's going to provide adhesive. So the ribbon will have adhesive on both sides. Make sure that you have this the right way around, and then you can come in, and I'm centering this top to bottom and side to side, like that. Okay, and if I don't like how far that extends out, I can snip that at this point. I can also even this up a bit. There we go. So that's like pretty painless to put the ribbon on the back. I don't typically like to do that, you know, but it looks really cool here. So I'm glad for whoever picked out this card because it's actually allowing me to expand my horizons. Oh, and I was trying to find my pastel adhesive back sequence, so let's grab those right now. And I'll use the pink and the blue for something else, but for today, these golden sequins are what I would like. So I'll take one of the big ones and add it right here. I've already got the perfect pattern picked out that I like, and I'm just gonna repeat it. I'm a creature of habit. Once I get like a pattern I like, that's what I go with. And I usually use 3 embellishments. Mix up the sizes a little bit if you have different sizes. And 3 is nice to kind of just add just a little bit of sparkle to your card without overdoing it. It's like just pretty easy. And that is all there is to it. Like just a very simple card. I love how to pin this ribbon on the back so it's stress-free, because that's probably the hardest part of the card, is just getting your ribbon right. And once you know how to get it on there and you have a pattern, then it's like pretty easy. I feel like this was almost too simple of a card to show today, but you know, the thing is, we all need easy cards that you can reproduce quickly. And that's what today's card is. It has enough wow factor though. It's got some bling. The paper in the back is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I didn't have to do a lot of stamping except for the greeting. That label with the stitching adds just a teeny tiny bit of interest to the card, and there it is. Voila. All right, I hope you like that card. You can use it in whatever you're doing as well. Okay, I'm gonna say hello to Mary is here, and she said it was windy yesterday in Ohio. I'm sure you had some of that same storm that came through up the East Coast here, probably rolled off into Ohio. Pat says she also has trouble using ribbon except for a bow. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's a neat way to use ribbon. And I think try this card, Pat. Like, you don't have to make my exact card, but try a label and try doing that ribbon kind of in an N shape on the back. And it wasn't hard. Once I had a pattern to work with, it wasn't hard, and it actually looks, I think it looks really good. This ribbon's kind of spectacular though, right? This is the navy glittered ribbon, and it is a carryover because it was so popular. Things that sell, Stampin' Up! Will keep around. Not some good sellers don't stay over, I have to say, but when it's a good seller and Stampin' Up! Has a purpose for it going forward, this ribbon was a big hit, so it stayed. It's just got a lot of, I don't know, it's got a lot of personality, so it's kind of cool. Let's see. Hi, Sue, and she's from Texas. Nice that you're here. Pat says she wishes me and my loved ones Merry Christmas and safe travels during holidays. And she appreciates me and all that I've done for the subscribers. Thank you. She calls them subbies. I like that. Good morning, Nancy. So Nancy has a tip, I think. She says, good morning. When making the tree ornament, a tiny piece of a straw in between the layers makes the trees wiggle nicely. Oh, so Nancy's referring to that little Christmas tree ornament that I made with the deckled circles, where I actually put dimensionals in between all the layers. On my original one, I did knots and I showed how it wiggled. Nancy put little cut pieces of straw. That's a good idea. She used that as a spacer. And I don't have my ornament here right now because guess what? It's on my Christmas tree. My Christmas tree was blank. And so after I had put it up, but I had no ornaments on it. So after that video, it was about 2 weeks ago, I went and I hung my ornaments on the tree in the other room. And then last week when I made the wreath star origami ornaments, my tree still wasn't decorated. I only had those few ornaments on there. So I put those on there. And then this weekend, my husband said, hey, honey, I'll help you decorate that tree. Because I think he felt like maybe it would never get decorated unless he said that he would help me. So I said, okay, sure. And he was going to do it all. But then we got out the box of kind of my more sentimental ornaments, and we started pulling them out. And I was like kind of all teary-eyed because like, this was the ornament my mom gave us when we bought our first house. This was our ornament my mom gave us, or my mom and dad, but it was my mom. My mom went to go buy it. I know she did. And then this is the ornament that she gave us when we first got married. This is the ornament she gave us when we had Nicholas. Like, and I was like, and these are the Nutcracker ornaments that my dad certainly probably had a hand in because he loved nutcrackers. And, so like, instead of letting him decorate, I was like, no, we need a special spot on the branch. And I was rearranging what he was doing. I don't know how he puts up with my Christmas tree stuff, but anyway, it was very emotional. I didn't realize that would happen because I was just so busy, and it kind of just struck me as hard as I was like hanging up all those ornaments. So it's probably good I left the tree decorating till a little later. So, but it did go well. Our tree this year just has sentimental ornaments on it. Like I didn't pull out kind of the filler ornaments, the ones that you kind of buy to hang, so it has sparkles on it. So I just kind of just decorated with those sentimental ornaments. So it's a nice tree. But yeah, I digress, right, Nancy? I started off with your question, and thank you for the tip on the spacers. Some other people mentioned beads as spacers. You can knot as spacers, or you can use dimensionals and just kind of put the whole tree together. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, just click over to my blog and look. It was 2 Fridays ago we did that tree shaped ornament. That one requires circles dies. If you want an easier ornament for the tree, if you want a fun family activity, go to last week's ornaments that I made, the origami ones, and I have a project sheet for that. And that one has a cool ornament that you need like 4 sheets of I used 4x4. You can make it in different sizes too, and it creates an ornament that could be a wreath, or it slides together to make a star. I had people send me photos of the ornaments that they made. That made me so happy to see those. And it's just I think it will be a great activity, and something, the fold's not too hard. So I think you can get kids involved too. So that's what makes it fun. Okay, moving right along. Thanks for the tip, Nancy. Pat said, love your card today, Mrs. Brenda. You made the ribbon look great in the card too. Thank you. Janine says, hello. Hi, Janine. Late, but she'll catch the replay. And Janine says she has terrible time placing ribbon like that. I absolutely do too. If you watch the replay, you'll see how I did mine, and hopefully I'll made it a little easier for you. Laura said, simple but nice. Have a merry and safe Christmas. Thank you, Laura. To you too. Marty says she loves the ribbon, and Marty's giving me a big hug because I'm getting weepy again on my YouTube channel. So, but I think everyone understands, because I'm sure everyone here has lost someone that they loved before, and Christmas can bring back all of those memories. And yeah, so anyway, I want to wish all of you a happy holiday, no matter what you celebrate. I hope you get to spend time with friends and family and loved ones, and I will see you probably, I'm thinking it might be the new year. It will be my next, yeah, I think I'll see you next year probably, because that's when I'll be back in my studio. That will be I'm going to be skipping next Tuesday. So I will see you in 2 weeks. That seems like a long time away, but hopefully it won't be super long. I hope you'll have lots of things to fill that time in the meantime. Deborah says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you, and to you too. And I will sign off now, and I will see you all next year. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.